Hi, this is Abby Barmore from Husker Online. Welcome. Here we have a special live chat with Nebraska volleyball players Madi Kubick and Kayla Caffey. Thank you for joining us, guys.
Thanks for
Hi.
having us.
Thanks for
Yes,
having
of course. This chat is powered by Union Bank and Trust and powered by ABM. We are streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, so feel free to jump in the chat and ask some questions for our players here. All right, let's get started. Let's talk a little bit about the end of the season. You guys went to the national championship game and lost to Wisconsin in 5 sets, but this team, really battled the whole time. In that second set, it went extra points. It was like 31-29. What a crazy set. What a good match. How would you guys describe the fight of this team? Maddie?
I think the fight on this team is unlike any team I've ever played on before. The chemistry between us as teammates and the trust that we have in each other and belief is just something that is just I don't know, I've never experienced anything like it before, and especially in that on that stage in that high pressure environment, we had to really lean into that even more. And I think I was so proud of this group for just fighting every single point right down to the end of the fifth set.
Mhm. Kayla, what was your, biggest takeaway from the season now that you're about a week away from it?
I think that my biggest takeaway was just like when you play for like the person next to you, I think it makes it so much more fun. And I think that's why we had that fight is because like we were each playing for each other. Like I felt like the underclassmen were really playing for me, Lauren, like Callie, Lexi, the people who might not get a chance to do this again because that like was our last game of the season. So I think it really just made us really appreciate each other and like everything that we have. That's just my biggest
Mhm.
takeaway is just like attitude of gratitude and just really playing for the person next to you makes it more fun.
When you guys got back into Lincoln, you were honored at halftime at the women's basketball game. What did that mean to you to be able to do that and then also, kind of help support another women's sports team in Nebraska?
Uh,
Maddie?
yeah, sorry. It was awesome. What's crazy is that the women's basketball team was actually playing Drake, and one of my best friends from high school, like grew up with since seventh, eighth grade, her family was there at that match. So like that was super
Oh,
emotional for me. I got to see them. I haven't seen them in a year and a half. They were in the stands cheering and blowing kisses, and that was super emotional for me. And obviously, all of Husker Nation that was there supporting the women's basketball team were standing ovation. They were being so supportive, as well as the women's basketball team and their coaches. So it was just, we felt so loved and
yeah,
supported. And it was just an amazing, I don't know, everyone was in tears. We were just
yeah,
mix of emotions.
Yeah, it had
yeah,
been quite a 24 hours, so it was good to have a little bit of love, right?
yeah.
Um, so Coach Cook said yesterday on the radio that some of the players on the team have COVID, and there was a lot of, this was after the tournament. So no one was sick during the tournament, but after some of the ladies caught COVID. So how are you guys doing? Are you good?
Good.
Doing good. Not that
We're
much
doing good.
congestion. All is well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know there was probably a lot of chaos when you got back,
yeah,
testing and such. So I'm glad that you're doing well.
Yeah, it was
Awesome.
scary, especially with some people that had already gone home with their families. And then to
yeah,
find out that some of the coaches had COVID and whatnot and testing and already exposing their loved ones, which is a little bit crazy with the time of everything right now.
yeah.
Mhm. So we have our first question in the chat. Todd would like to know your thoughts on Tyler Hildebrand and what he brought to the table the last 2 seasons. For our Husker fans that don't know, Tyler was the associate head coach, and now he's going to be the head coach at Long Beach State, which is his alma mater. So he's moving on from Nebraska. But what did you guys think that he brought to the table over the last few seasons? Kayla?
Um, I absolutely love Tyler. I worked with him really closely because he was like the middles coach and he also served as like dual, like the setter coach. And we had weekly meetings all the time, but like he literally just like I've never met anyone so like in tune and dialed in with what's going on in volleyball, just so knowledgeable on that side of things. And then on the other side of things, he's just a great person. Like he just really cares about us, like our lives, what's going on, and like building those relationships. So He's definitely someone we're gonna miss having around. He was really great.
Yeah,
Maddie, any thoughts?
yeah, I have to piggyback off of her. He just the way that he sees the game is unlike any coach that I don't know I've ever played with and worked with, and he really I think the way that he views it is kind of just a process and teaching and learning and growing on both ends as coach and player, which is something that's so cool with as much experience that he has in the game that he still wants to grow and learn and help us do that as well. And as Kayla said, he just is an amazing person, truly cares about us as people.
Mhm. Um, John would like to know what are your thoughts on the addition of Kelly Hunter moving to full-time staff and what she brings to the table?
I'm really excited for Kelly. I think that's so well deserved. She was the volunteer coach before I even got to the program, and I just think that Kelly is also very knowledgeable, very hands-on too. And she just is a great person as well. Like she's just so in tune with like our emotions as well, and she just brings a fun energy to the gym. So I think I can't wait to see what Kelly does. I think she's going to be amazing in that role.
Yeah, I think we're really excited to see, I don't know, how she approaches it and like what her coaching style would be, because obviously she's been in more of a volunteer position and has is still a great friend to all of us. I think we have that relationship with like as a coach and then also as a friend. She's really close with all of us. And I think like Kayla said, she brings this different vibe to the gym. She knows how to work with coach, has done that for a long time,
Mhm.
obviously has played at the highest level. So we're really excited.
We are taking your questions here on Husker Online for Nebraska volleyball players Madi Kubick and Kayla Caffey. Sarah has a question for you guys. What was your favorite part of the Final Four that was not on the court?
Oh, it was the room. What was the room called? There
That
was like a the players' lounge, yes. So they had like a players' lounge for us, and like in the players' lounge, you can get like your nails shellacked. Like you can make a candle. You could do make your own lip gloss. They had like character drawings. It was so cool. They had like food, like a photo booth. That was so awesome. That was my favorite part.
I think my favorite part was when we did our big family dinner. We played like telephone around the Christmas dinner table, like all the staff and the team and everyone. That got a little bit rowdy, which was kind of fun. And then we all just got to enjoy dinner together.
That was
I
really
saw some
fun.
pictures on social media that you guys made Christmas cookies. Like, who had
Yes.
the best cookie?
Was it
Hmm.
Kennedy? Did she go
Yeah,
up
I
and
think it was Kenna. Kenna versus Whitney, and I think Kenna won.
Did you
yeah,
have like a little battle?
we graded it on who
Yeah.
got the loudest cheering. So then Kenna
Mhm.
won.
Yeah.
Mhm. Brandon has a question for Kayla. When will you decide if you're going to come back for another shot at the title? Or have you decided?
I think that I'm in the works of deciding. It definitely is a possibility. It's not completely off the table, but I think the timeline is closing. I think with season being up now, I can actually like focus on what it is that I want to do and like what I need moving on. So yeah, definitely a possibility. Hopefully in the next month.
Todd would like to know, do you have any more schooling to do? I know you just finished your master's, but is there more schooling that you could do if you came back for another semester or
Yeah,
another
I could
season?
pick up yeah, I could continue on with, like, another program in education, probably not a PhD because that would take 2 years and I only have 1. I could do a whole 'nother program, I don't know. Still things
Mhm.
that need to be figured out.
There's always more school, right?
Always more school.
So, Maddie, you are this upcoming season, you're going to be a senior now. So, do you, plan to take on a little bit more a leadership role, or how are you feeling towards that? Is it kind of weird to think?
Absolutely. Very weird. Because, Kenzie and I came in with a class of 6 and now it's just her and I. We've had some crazy situations go on with the people that we came in with. And it's kind of weird that it kind of still feels like we're the children, the babies of the team, but we're not. And yeah, I'm really excited to step into more of a leadership role. Obviously, with us being the upperclassmen at this point, which sounds so weird to say. But Yeah, I'm really excited. It's cool. I'm excited.
Kayla, describe your ideal classroom. Ryan wants to know.
Ooh,
Fun one.
that's that's a good question. Maybe like a nice expo board. Maybe like just large, very spacious, like a nice reading corner would be nice with like beanbag chairs, group seating, a nice teacher table at the back. I could go on for days.
Do you have like a theme in mind? Like some teachers have like a big theme in their classroom?
Hmm. Not yet. So when I had first graduated and I didn't know if I was going to grad school or not, I was all over Pinterest looking at all the themes, but I haven't done that yet. So I haven't started shifting into teacher mode yet, but that is an exciting thing to pick as a theme.
It could be coming up soon too, depending on your
It
decision to
could
come back or
be.
not.
Yeah.
All right. Brandon has another question. How long after Lexi Rodriguez showed up on campus before the team realized how good she was?
Day one.
We've
We
she,
literally called her. Oh, go ahead, Maddie.
no, you got it.
No, you go. It's okay.
I was gonna say when we were really going to camp and hello.
Oh.
We
Hi,
were going
puppy.
to high school camp together and coach called her MVP. So we've known since she was like a sixth grader.
Yeah. We used to call her ball return machine or something like that. That's what Jalen named her because literally anytime we would hit it, it would just come back, come back. Like it was so frustrating the first like days like playing against her because you couldn't get any kills in the gym.
Yeah, that's so true.
Do you feel like that made you a better hitter, having to hit against
Oh
her?
yeah, for sure.
Maddie, how do you think the dynamics will change with your sister going Nebraska next season?
I don't know. I'm very
Oh.
excited. She moves in soon because our new freshmen move in January 12th. So I'm gonna help her move into the dorms and get all that settled. I'm so excited. I think it's gonna be a lot different, especially because the last time we played together, I was a senior in high school. She was a freshman in high school. So that's a lot. I don't know. There's been 3 years since we haven't lived together, played together, that kind of thing. But I don't know. Coach is already getting fired up about it and saying that he's going to get us to like get in a fist fight at practice or something. Oh, that would be awesome. We're not doing that. So we'll see. I'm excited.
Kai would like to know the most important question. What is your dog's name?
Here, let's see. He's right here. This is Maverick. Here.
Aw.
Oh. Here, buddy. Look.
Hello.
This is Maverick. He's an Aussie doodle.
He's so cute.
He's a good boy. Yeah. He's being sweet right now. Pretty quiet.
Aw.
He knows that he's live.
He does. He's a smart boy.
For those of you guys just joining us, we are taking your questions live for Nebraska volleyball players Madi Kubick and Kayla Caffey. Thank you all for joining us and leave your questions in the chat. All right, so we have what is your favorite NBA team? Do you guys basketball fans? No.
Well, I'm from Chicago, so maybe the Bulls.
Maddie's from Iowa, and she's like, we don't have a team.
I'm in the Cornhusker team. That's my favorite basketball team.
They're pretty good.
So, what are some of your personal goals for 2022, whether that's on the court or off the court? Maddie?
Did you say personal goals?
Yes.
Okay. That's a tough one. I haven't come up with those yet. I think probably my biggest goal and challenge bringing back to my sister a little bit is just to learn, grow, and establish a relationship with her that I think is going to kind of set the groundwork for what our relationship looks like as adults. And I'm really excited for that. And yeah, just keep getting better and growing in volleyball. That's always the goal with that. But I think that would probably be my biggest thing.
That's kind of a tough one, Abby, because I don't know what I'm doing with my life. So if I stay and do volleyball, I think that like my goal would just be I would probably have to shift with you, Maddie, into that leadership role, being as old as I am. So maybe like working on that and just like always getting better in volleyball because you can always get better. Um, and then like if I do, I guess adulting, just like I don't know, like shifting to that. Like I've been in college for 6 years now, and it's going to be a big change, like going into that different role. So just navigating life and figuring out that next step.
We have a question from Todd in the chat. Do you have any good stories about Russ Rhodes? He is Penn State's head coach that announced that he is retiring today after 43 seasons at Penn State. So do you
uh,
guys have any good Coach Rose memories or good matches against him?
I have a picture with him. I can't upload it into this chat. When I was younger, I was like a huge Penn State volleyball fan. Like I just liked all those girls that were on the team at the time. And so I think it was this year we were going to go play Penn State and I like sent my picture with him like in the group chat and I have like glasses and my hair is like everywhere. It's from when I was 12, but if
It's
I could upload it and show everyone I would.
I think the other memory that I have is this year when we played Penn State. Coach was doing an interview, and after his interview, we were joking with him and saying that Coach Rose was his frenemy. We were like, "Oh, you guys are buddies, but you're enemies, whatever." And so we joked about that before the match, and then he was like, "All right, guys, we get to play my Furminator today." And we were like, "You're what?" He thought that he was saying his frenemy, but he said his Furminator, which I'm pretty sure is like a dog brush. So that's a pretty good one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it is Christmas Eve. What is your favorite Christmas tradition that you guys do with your families?
Well, my family always makes a really big pot of gumbo, so that's fun. It's really
Oh,
yummy too. We only make it once a year because it takes a really long time. So, yeah, that's something we do.
Oh, that sounds so good. I think we always watch Jim Carrey's The Grinch. That's like my family's
Ooh.
go-to favorite Christmas movie. Everyone can practically quote the entire movie. We watch it and we're all like literally just saying it as it goes on. It's like it's annoying almost, but we always do that.
Sarah has a question for Kayla. If you do move into adulting, do you plan to stay in Lincoln or move home? And would you ever coach?
Oh, these are all answers I wish I knew. Honestly, I'm just going wherever opportunity takes me, so I'm not opposed to leaving Lincoln, I mean, staying in Lincoln, if there's like a good opportunity here, or even just Nebraska in general, like even in Omaha. So yeah, I mean, I've already got some like offers, I think through Twitter. I don't know how serious those are, but people are like, "Hey, if you want to work for our school district and want to coach," but yeah, I would maybe coach too. Probably younger kids though.
Mhm. Brandon has a question. This is an interesting one. Players, do you feel a difference in the rivalry between Wisconsin and the one against Texas? Is there a difference between those rivalries? Maddie, you're thinking hard on this one.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking about it because obviously there's a difference because we play Wisconsin during season and conference, and obviously we played them for the Big Ten championship, then we played them for the national championship. So on two big stages. But also we played Texas for the Elite Eight both the last 2 years. So I think they both are pretty big physical teams, so they kind of have that in common. And we have to treat them a little bit similarly with our game plan. But I don't know. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I think you answered it well, though. I would say the same thing. Very similar teams.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We are here with Nebraska volleyball players Madi Kubick and Kayla Caffey. This interview is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust and powered by ABM. So we have another question. Do you think Nicklin is leaning a certain way? She has an opportunity to come back or not? Do you guys talk about this, as a team, your decisions, and kind of as friends to think it through?
I have no idea what Nicklин's thinking. Nicklin has a great poker face. I think I've tried to ask her and like kind of stare her down a little bit and be like, "What are you deciding?" So yeah, I have no idea honestly. We didn't
I
really talk. Well, we talked about it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think I've heard Nicklin weigh all the options. We've like sat in the hotel room before, like when we're traveling, and like come up with 13 different ways that she could like keep playing, not keep playing, like figure out a 3-year timeline. Like all the options are on the table. I don't know what she's gonna do. I think she has some hard thinking to do over Christmas.
Hmm.
Would you guys ever consider playing professional volleyball after your careers are done with the Huskers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely would.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool that you can go over there and travel the world and still play volleyball. And I mean, as long as your body allows you to play the sport, I mean, go for it.
Yeah, I completely agree. If we have the opportunity to go see the world when we're this 23, 24 years old and be paid to live there and get our expenses paid for, um, I'd say it's an amazing opportunity.
Brian in the chat said the team dynamic was so fun to watch this year. Is that something that happens organically, or do you guys intentionally work on it? If so, how? Maddie?
Um, I think both.
Yeah.
Because I think this group meshes in a very specific way, and we just bounce off each other, and we're like always have something to fire back at each other. But on the other hand of that, we also did a ton of work in summer and in preseason about how one of the things we really focused on was how honesty is the kindest thing you can do for someone, is just being truthful with them. So I think the reason this team was so deeply connected is because we did have those hard conversations that allowed each other in more and know each other more as humans and not just as volleyball players. And so I think that helped us a lot.
Hmm. I agree. I think that we're all just so good friends that that part that made it easier. I think like the part that we did have to work on was the tough conversations because since we love each other so much, like we didn't want to hurt each other's feelings if we said anything or stepped on each other's toes in volleyball. So that part was pretty easy. Like once we worked with like our sports psych on just how to do that part, it all meshed together because we already were such good friends.
Todd has a question for you, Maddie. How has Coach Cook's coaching style changed over the last years that you've been here?
I don't think coach has changed much. I think he is a master of holding people to a high standard. And I think he has lots of different methods in his toolbox of how he can like navigate that and kind of work with people and figure out what they need as a player. But he is amazing at it. He holds our team to such a high standard of discipline and composure and the expectation of level of play that we give on the court. And yeah, I think that he only gets better at that every single year.
Is this team going to play beach volleyball this spring? I know you guys typically do, but do you both play beach volleyball?
I've never played beach. I think because last year when I came in, it was COVID. I like missed out on it, but I think Madison's played beach before.
Yeah, I have. It's so fun. It's literally like we have the best time. It's so fun. I'm excited for this group. I don't know if, yeah, with Kayla, you deciding on whether or not you're staying or not, but I'm so excited. If you do play, it'll be awesome.
I think it'll be really
And
fun
what is
too.
your
I've never played
favorite,
too.
Maddie, what is your favorite beach volleyball memory?
Oh, this is a good one. So we were in Hawaii, and oh, I'm sorry, no, we are not in Hawaii. This is a different story. Okay, we're Kenzie and so we came in early. We graduated early from high school, so we're there in January. We got to play beach with the team, so we're like the new kids, whatever. They're like these idiots, like. So she was sick one day, and we had a beach game that day. We weren't partners at the time. She was partners with Jazz Sweet. And so she was sick, and she texted me. I was in class. She was like, "Hey, like, I need some cold medicine. Like, I got to take a nap before this match." I was like, "Okay." It's above the fridge. And she's short, so she couldn't see. and she's also kind of silly sometimes. So she took like NyQuil at like noon. So I like from class, I like walk into our dorm room and she's like dead, like passed out. I'm like, we gotta go. Like, we have a game in an hour. Like, we gotta go right now. And she's like hurt. She can't wake up, can't do anything. So I'm up the coffee. And so she goes out there in the game and she's like half asleep, but also like really jittery. So she's like, and it was just golden. It was so funny. It was like described everything all in one situation.
Did they win?
I think they did win. And Jazz was like, come on, dude, like, what are you doing? And she was like, I don't know.
Jazz was like carrying the team, apparently.
Literally, yeah. It was so funny.
Thank you guys for joining us. We are live with Madi Kubick and Kayla Caffey taking some of your questions. Chris has a question for you guys. How do you handle the pressure within the anticipation of each play in Big Ten games?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Silence. Kayla, what are you thinking?
I think that I just kind of try to forget about the last play and whatever happened, just taking it point by point and try to make a lot of eye contact. I feel like when we come in the center to the huddle, that's kind of like our time to reset and like get regrounded because like we make eye contact with each other. And yeah, just ready for the next play.
Yeah, I definitely think that's something that we've had to work at as a team and like using our center huddles, like Kayla said, like very intentionally to like give ourselves that break that we need between plays. But I definitely think it takes practice. We talk about being able to control your breathing and nervous system helps you with your composure. And then your attention control helps to focus not on the pass ball, like Kayla said, but the one that's presently happening. So we work on that as a group and then individually as well.
Kayla, we have a teacher question for you. You used to teach health and PE at SCO. Do you have any fun, middle school stories that you can share with us from your subbing days?
I'm trying to think if I have any really funny stories. I feel like for the I just think the funniest story was actually when one of the teachers brought by like a Dr. Pepper can, and they told me to take it to classroom, whatever. And I went down there and I got to meet this really cool teacher who just loved Husker volleyball, and like her whole like back wall is just like plastered with like all these like Husker volleyball posters from like years and years before I had even got to Nebraska, and she had like a signed ball. It was really cool, and I thought that was really, and her reaction was just like so, it was great. I think that's like my favorite memory. I wish I could remember her name right now. I can't.
Shout out to her, right? I bet she
Shout
knows
out
who
to
she
her.
is. Okay, we have one last question. What is your favorite Christmas meal? I know that Kayla talked about gumbo, but is that your favorite?
Yeah, gumbo or seafood boil. I love seafood, so any form of seafood, I'm eating it.
I think I guess this isn't a meal, but this is my favorite thing. So my dad's mom, she makes like the best mashed potatoes ever. And I would like, when I was a kid, I would always help her, and like it would take us like 7 hours to like make these mashed because we would like make sure they had no lumps, like the creamiest, best mashed potatoes you've ever had. I wish I got to have those this Christmas, but I don't think I'm going to. But that's okay.
Sad.
It's a great memory.
You could make them at home.
That's true. I do have some time on my hands.
Caleb, we're thinking about your Wi-Fi here. It's a little choppy, apparently, Jake says.
Oh no. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Okay, one final question. Sorry, I lied to you guys before. Do you have any New Year's resolutions for 2022?
Madison, do you have one? I don't have one yet.
I think.
Oh yeah, Jody Joel.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
her. Jody.
That's so cute. I think that New Year's resolutions are silly because I think people they're like, oh, January 1st, I'm gonna go to the gym every day, and then I feel like nothing ever stays. No one ever completes their New Year's resolution.
Yeah, I
So that's a
don't.
tough one. I think they're kind of silly.
Mine is just to always eat more clean. Yeah, that's hard.
That's a hard one.
It's a hard one.
Especially with all that gumbo you're going to be eating on Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
We always joke that if Lexi's son ate Kayla's diet, she would die. She would end up in the hospital.
She would die.
Thank you
Oh
guys
my
so
gosh.
much for joining us. This was fun to be able to chat with you and take some questions from fans.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
thank
having us.
you.
Yes.
Thanks, Abby.
This chat was brought to you by Union Bank and Trust and is powered by ABM. Thank you for joining us, everyone, and happy holidays.